Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. All right. Some of y'all deserve a very high tree. Oh, wow. Talk about saying what you mean. Say it with your chest. Right? So, shout out to Gender Warlord for this. You know, the link is in the description, so y'all check it out. Yeah, y'all saw it. For those of you that watched already, um, so Gender Warlord has this clip where he's playing a sister say essentially telling black men to give her grace, right? To give black women grace that sometimes black women are going to be irritable and they're going to be pretty much B words, right? B's, and that black women should show them some grace because they're irritable essentially because black men haven't made them upper middle class and rich white women. Y'all already know Mr. Z's drill. And so she continues on with that, and you know I guess Gender Warlord goes through her comments on her Twitter feed, and yeah, white boyfriend. Not only that, she has comments like, some of you, that's black men, should be, somewhere in a very high tree, or, essentially saying, hang Negroes, hang black men, of course, of course, of course. Yeah, so, dear black men, how much evidence do we got to show these FD signifiers and these Dr. Umar Johnsons? I don't know. Are they ever going to really say anything about it for real, for real? Probably not, right? So these are your supposed and, dear Fab Socialism, right? Yeah, another example, right? Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. Um, Another example of supposed radical black women with white men, but not just with the white man. Okay, that's already potentially problematic, right? Potentially, depending. But another supposed radical black woman with a white man saying anti-black misandrous things to and about black men. So, all you supposed black lefties, what y'all got to say about that? Of course, you have nothing to say about that because y'all are left-leaning right up until it comes time to talk about black men. Then y'all are racist, drooling at the mouth white conservatives and blackface. Y'all are all lefties up until it comes time to talk about black men. Then y'all are Ben Shapiro. Then y'all are Ed Blum. Right? Then y'all are Rupert Murdoch. Right? Yeah. Then you're Rush Limbaugh. You're lefty and progressive and liberal. Right? And Marxist and communist. Right up until it comes time to talk about black men. Then it's pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Right? So this young lady is saying to black men, look, you got to show us some grace. We're going to be irritable. We're going to talk reckless sometimes. And Exhibit A, her speaking reckless. Whole white man. Because this is what it always was about. This is the political project of turning black women into economic, social, and political white women. Maybe not phenotypically. Maybe they don't get the blonde hair and the blue eyes, but politically and socially white women. And what better way to exhibit white womanhood than to be with the white man while quote unquote critiquing, insulting, demeaning, chastising, belittling black men. What better way to exhibit your white womanhood? Is that not white womanhood? Right? Is that not white womanhood? As I said before, the black community is going to have to come to terms with the fact that your daughters really, 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 really want to be white women. screw all that talk about social justice and equality and fairness and egalitarianism. They really, 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 really want to be white women. Dear black community, you better get it together, because you listen to your daughters at a surface level. Really listen to them talk. Let them talk long enough. Don't put words in their mouth. Don't lead them with lead-on questions, and listen to them pretty much say, my issue with black men is that they didn't make black women politically, socially, and economically upper middle class and above white women. Let them talk long enough. Because what did this young lady get down to at the end of the day? Desirability. The men that call us masculine. Uh-oh. So let's go through that. If black men are calling black women masculine, then what do white men call black women? Uh-oh. You still got your white man though, didn't you? Okay, there you go. If black men are saying that black women, and that's if I grant you all of these things, by the way, if black men are saying that black women are undeserving of protection, then what are white men saying? Uh-oh, but you still got your white man now, don't you? Serena Williams, anyone? All this talk about what black men are saying and doing, and they're making us feel in certain ways, and they don't find us attractive, and the white men who call black women apes and monkeys and welfare queens, etc., y'all still manage to hump on and off their penis now, don't you? When he get on, he gonna leave your ass for a white girl. Meanwhile, y'all still messing with the Kid Rocks and the Machine Gun Kellys now, aren't you? Uh-oh. And they do get on and leave your ass for a white girl. Yikes. All this talk from black women, all this quote-unquote critiquing, really insulting, demeaning, belittling black men, all of this. Meanwhile, white men get passes. Because this is really about the political and social project of making black women politically and socially white women, upper middle class white women. We are going to find example after example of this. Black women hiding their insulting of black men, them belittling black men, under critiquing black men. Critiquing black men wanting to be patriarchs. Meanwhile, they're chasing after white patriarchs. Patriarchy for me, none for thee, right? Dear black community, these are your daughters. Your supposed college-educated daughters, your well-spoken daughters, your disciplined daughters, your social justice warrior daughters. Dear black community, these are your academically high-achieving black daughters. Dear black community, right? And all she really want to do is be a white woman. Yikes. See, when it comes down to talking about black men, now we start hearing meritocracy and pull yourself up by your bootstraps. All your left-leaning progressive and liberal daughters and fighting against, forms of oppression, and I'm against hierarchies, non-binary, all of that talk. Once we start talking black men, uh-oh. All of that go out the window. Because they don't mean it and they never did. They don't mean it and they never did. This is about being a white woman. Maybe not phenotypically, but definitely economically and most definitely politically and socially. The power of white womanhood, the ability to practice proxy violence like white women do, right? What is more white women than talking down to black men, essentially demanding black men show you grace while being with the white man? The young lady speaks about white women tears. Yeah, because you want to weaponize black women tears the way white women weaponize white women tears. This is about white womanhood. It's always been about white womanhood. And until you FD signifiers come to term with that, and I'm saying that to you specifically, Juicy know, she ain't say it yet, but she know. Kim Foster know because she's mainly one of those ones that, hey, it's all about white womanhood over there. Let her talk long enough. Khadijah know. All of your good lefties know. Y'all won't say it though. Black men want to be white men. Last time I checked, black men ain't straightening their hair. Goddamn. Black men are not using hair relaxer. Right? Bleaching their skin. Yikes. Right? As if black men don't experience colorism also, dark-skinned black men in particular. It's not the same. Okay, yeah, yep. Go speak to Godfrey and tell him it's not the same. Right? So this is really about the political project of black women being white women. Politically and socially white women, and to be able to flex the power that upper middle class white women have. You, like I said before, you will see more of this because this was the goal in the first place. This was the goal. Fab socialism, you will continue to have more and more of these examples of supposed progressive, lefty, liberal, left of center black women who claim to be radical, who claim, that they care about, people that are oppressed and people of color and marginalized communities and all of that, and really white men in relationships with white men. Right? Hysterical. Better you and better you says, did she have a septum ring? No, she didn't. Well, not at least in the picture that Gender Warlord showed, right? So we just have to be honest that this is what it's about. That all of this, you know, black women working their damnedest and their hardest to put themselves in some of these white collar environments and to climb up the social and economic ladder is really to be in proximity to white men, to force themselves on white men so that white men can potentially marry them, so they could get white men's name and some of that white male status could rub up off them, or rub off white men onto them, right? How often do we have to hear this type of drivel and then look up and she's in a relationship with a white man? How often do we have to hear black women rail on against black men and then she's in a relationship with a white man, with a non-black man, but particularly a white man? How often? And then it's always under the guise of critiquing black men. It's not seen as misandry, which it is. Anti-black misandry. As the young lady who was railing on against white people, or white people smell like dogs, and and she has a white man. And when everybody got on her about it, well, you have to understand, it's different than when black men do it. It's different when black men do it. It's always different. It's not the same, like if black men critique us, it's because they're colorist and they're sexist and they're misogynist and misogynoir, and they're patriarchal, or they want to be patriarchs, and even though I want a white patriarch. But when black women critique black men, you have to understand it's because the colorism in the black community, and the texturism and the featureism, and they don't show up for us, and they insult us and they call us masculine, even though white men call us masculine too, and even more. And I still want me a white man, but it's not the same. I want a white man to get away from black men and their patriarchy, non-patriarchy. Yeah. If it sounds like it doesn't make any sense, it's because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, Charles, I'll check it out after the stream. And Charles says another one, Z. Right? And so when Kevin Samuel says you can't make this ish up, you can. Y'all saw the Kendra G video with the young lady? She just shoehorned white men. And then when Kendra G, so are you in a relationship with one? No, well, they love you real quick. Yeah, they love you real quick, and they care about you, and they're buying you this, and they're doing that for you. So why aren't you in one? Well, it's me, and it's a little off-putting, it's a little too much, and but black men don't do this, and black men don't do that, and black men don't do that. Okay. FD signifier, will you ever say anything about this? No. Like we said, you'll make a little 3, 5, 7 minute segment of a video, but how often black women are going to say this and be this? How often are black women going to say this and be this? Juicy. And even Juicy, every once in a while, she'd be like, okay, I'm tired of y'all talking like this. And she'll say it without saying it. No, y'all got to go at their neck just like that. Y'all go right at our neck. Y'all go right at black men's neck. Y'all play patty cake when y'all critique black women, though. Y'all hit black women with the kid gloves. Y'all don't even hit them. Y'all play patty cake when it comes to black women. As I said, even Julesy, when she did the little segment of, why are black women always told to marry down? And Julesy, well, look at these white women complaining about their men. Did black women hear it? No. First of all, even with that, you were kind of lightweight. Right? Oh, wow. And Detroit says, Z, even Latinos heard about divestment spaces knowing they are racist. We'll just say they're racist. Right? And he also says that's how divested zealot was exposed. Wow. Exactly, King Camo. And King Camo says FD says it's insignificant number of them as a way to not have to address the women. Of course, because he think the women are going to address the women. Kim Foster look like she's going to address the women. FD Fab Socialism occasionally says, "Why are all these radical black women with white men? Because they don't mean it." Who's gonna who's going to actually which one of the women on the left with you gonna be honest like, okay, yo, look, we putting this white masculinity, this white manhood on a pedestal, and it's really because we want to be politically and socially white women. I get it, slavery, Jim Crow, but it ain't gonna happen. Who's gonna say it? None of them. Just like you could hop your ass over here in the black manosphere and say, look, we ain't never gonna be white men. And the black community is a matriarchy by default. Just like you could do that, the women ain't doing none of that. Juicy and Chrissy had a back and forth a few years ago, and that was the beginning and the end of that. Y'all saw Mahogany Pete pop up on the scene for a little bit. Y'all ain't say nothing. Yanni, y'all don't got nothing. Lexus Exodus, y'all don't have anything. Chrissy, after the Juicy back and forth, nothing. Cynthia G, y'all are deathly afraid of Cynthia G. And she's talking about aborting black male sons. Aborting black sons. Right? Yeah, Trill. I've seen this before. Slavery and Jim Crow doesn't matter. This is 2023. Love is love. Oh, they don't got nothing to say about Prince Ella. And Prince. What makes you? We need to applaud the fact that there's a Princella, because Princella puts the death knell to. Oh, I was born this way. Princella told you, no, we may, and I said it when I covered the radical feminists out of Britain. The political project of being a white woman, if they can't get it, then okay, I'll just do same sex relationships. That's why Mr. Z says go eat vagina then. It's a conscious choice. It's white men are too racist, they won't wife me. Latino men, same thing, they might have sex with me, but no. I can't get the type of black man I want, or I can't keep him. So I'm gonna be over here with women. And by the way, that's okay. Mr. Z is not anti, y'all doing what y'all want to do. But let's be very clear why you over there. It's not no love is love. You're insufferable. You can't make it work with men. Either your diet and your weight, your personality is trash, you're a mean person. Either way, you can't make it work with men, so you end up with a woman. Right? He said Shang Tsung. Right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So this is what it is. This young lady speaking about is literally, excuse me, speaking about, you know, black men extending some grace to black men extending some grace to black women. Extending some grace. Trying to be a bit more understandable. Why she's barking at you, why she's being mean to you, why she's being snarky and sassy, unwarranted sass. And then her comment on her Twitter is essentially, they don't make trees high enough to hang you Negroes. While being in intimate relationship with a white man. And that's assuming that we believe her. Either way. And these are the women that Dr. Umar Johnson tells you to wife. No wonder he can extend. Oh, wait a minute. Dr. Umar Johnson extending grace to Cynthia G after she looked him in the face and said, yeah, if black men aren't going to be who we want them to be, then we might as well abort the black males. Oh, wow, I did not know this. I never knew she said this. And Detroit says, Z, don't forget Nyla Blob when she said black men are the Ishtain of the black community. I ain't gonna read the rest of that. But yeah, wow. And there you go. It is. It is. And Trell says, intimate relationship sounds like a euphemism for slobbering on pink poles. Right? As I said to Tone, like this is what it is. This is what women of color in general and black women, this is what they're about. And like I told y'all before, dear black men, prepare thyself. Definitely younger millennials, Gen Z. If y'all think black women sound crazy now with the white male worship, wait until this wealth transfer from boomers to their millennial and Gen Z children goes about. If you think they sound crazy now, like I said, when those Tellurides are not 40 and 50 grand, but they 65 and 70 grand, I might have been mistaken. Better you says, doesn't Bobby's mom have a black son? I think black daughter. I thought it was a black son, but someone told me black daughter. I might have been mistaken on that one. Right? Imagine speaking about white women tears and essentially what you're saying. And if you really listen to her close, she's speaking like she's jealous that white women get to weaponize their tears and black women don't. It's not about, when white women cry, everybody comes to their aid and everybody's like, oh my God, a white woman's crying and we got to stop the world. We got to stop the world. Stop rotating. What's going on with you, white women? What do you need? We will give you the whole world. It's, I want to be, what's her name? What, Amy Cooper? With the bird watcher? Why can't I fake cry on the phone and potentially get a black man killed or stomped out? I want that power too. I want to be able to practice proxy violence too. What's the name of the black woman who tried to get the black former football player killed? I want that power too. Amber Heard got caught lying, but I want the power of Amber Heard too. Right? That's what I'm saying, Michael Ross. Why can't I call in a Negro's death? That's all it is. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. And thank you, Nema says, Dominique Jones against Travis Rudolph. Exactly. You know, black quote unquote elders, they pose lead on questions to black women. Especially black women under the age of 30, really Yannies ish age and younger, 31, 32, that younger millennial. Right? They hit them with lead on questions. They, you know, They purposely misinterpret what the women are saying. They don't let them speak long enough. If you let young, especially young black women, the ones with less couth, they're more angry, they're more rageful. Let them talk long enough so they could tell you, right? So they could do the slave master challenge in front of you, right? So they could grab their white boyfriend's hand and put it around their neck like he's their slave master because he's their slave master. So y'all could understand what this always was for black women. Ain't that right, bell hooks? This is what it always was about. You will continue to see these black women, quote unquote, critique black men while being in same-sex loving relationships, while being in relationships with non-black men, other men of color, and definitely being in a relationship, intimate relationship, sometimes married, sometimes not, with white men. And we will watch as the talking heads in the black community say nothing. You will watch black women advocate for aborting black male babies. And you will watch the black community say nothing. That was on Fox Soul. Did Claudia Jordan say anything about it? Nope. Did Vivica A. Fox say anything about it? Nope. All those black women. That was on the network you're on. Did you say anything about it later on? Nope. Of course you didn't. Right? Lisa Ray? Nope. Right? Huh. You're going to continue to see that. You're going to continue to see the Ebony K. Williams beat a bust down for a wealthy white dude, get kicked off of Mount Olympus afterward, come back to the black community as a nigga, then beat up on black men, and we watch the whole black community be like, yes, queen, you're right. Beat up bus driver. If he owns the bus, now she's talking about black sperm. Meanwhile, she was the bust down for a rich white dude for 4 years. And she gets to do that in the only concern Dr. Umar Johnson has. Oh, well, she was with a white man? So her rhetoric about black men, that's, you don't got nothing to say about that? Even Jason Black was soft shoeing for Ebony K. Williams. Yeah, I said it, Jason. And Dr. Thunder says, no, use a naker. Correction. You're right. You're right. I stand corrected. Right? Better use it. She jumped off that mountain like Kratos in God of War 1. Now she got kicked off the mountain like Leonidas. This is Sparta. Huh. So we could just beat up on black men all willy nilly. That's what the black community said. We can beat up on black men and under the guise of critiquing them, all will and nobody have anything to say, right? No one has anything to say, to the point where this young lady, if you listen, it sounds like she was on stage and she's speaking and saying to black men to extend black women some grace, essentially. And does her social media account, does her Twitter look like she's extending black men any grace? Right? Does it look like she's extending black men any grace? Right? Some of y'all deserve a very high tree while being in a relationship with a white dude. Right? And no placeholder says, what's wrong with white male sperm for Ebony K? I don't know. That's not what she said she got. Right? Hmm. Dr. Thunder said, Struggle Bandits is one of my favorites. And that's all. Until the black community comes to terms with the fact that your daughters want to be politically and socially white women, and everything they say and everything they do and the way they move and the way they advocate, it's all about that. We refuse to subject ourselves to black men, right? But we have no problem with white male patriarchy. As a matter of fact, that's what we covet, right? We covet white male patriarchy, but we refuse to be quote unquote oppressed by black men. Unless, of course, he pays the black tax. Right? All these anti-patriarchal, anti-systems of oppression, progressive, lefty, left of center, liberal black women. And the second you start talking about relationships and intimacy, it's black men ain't ish, and I got to date out, and I might do same sex, and that, well, all right. Right? And why are black women always told to settle, and other women aren't told to settle, and white women aren't told to settle, and white women get to use white women tears, and okay. And all of these black academics are mum's the word. Right? We got a handful of black academics like Dr. T, Dr. Thunder, Dr. Ron O'Neill, right? Dr. Green Gorilla, Dr. Dunbar. There's a handful. All the rest of them, all the rest of the black men ducking, dodging, hiding. Sounding like Aaron Hall to Corey Holcomb. Man, I can't stand these hoes. Yeah, y'all say that at the barbershop. Right? And the black female academics, well, they agree. They're the ones pushing this message. And the Wife School podcast is I literally had a 30-minute convo with a young black girl, and all she said was black men were mediocre. Tell her to date out or date same sex. Shout out to Edward Anderson. Date out. So black men ain't gonna do. No, we're not. Date out. There you go. Beginning in date out. Go date same sex. Right. Black men are mediocre. Average income for black women 36,000. And I think that's for 40-hour work week. I think that's when you put so many extenuating circumstances. Average income 36,000. Wealth of $5. But black men are mediocre. Black men start more businesses. Black men employ more people. Black men have higher credit scores. Black men are in less debt. Black men earn more. Black men put in more hours at work. But black men are mediocre. Okay. Black men are mediocre because black men didn't make black women upper middle class white women. Right? That's all it's about. Everything else short of that, it's not even just the money. Dear black men, it's not even just the money. Black women want the social and political power of upper middle class white women. They want the class position of upper middle class and above white women. Listen to Kim Foster long enough. Listen to this young lady. This is a political project to make black women white women. It's not just the money. What does the money mean if I can't weaponize my tears the way upper middle class white women do? What does the money mean if I can't use proxy violence the way upper middle class white women do? What is the point of the money if I can't look down on other people and see them as lesser than while I hand out turkeys for Thanksgiving with gloves on the way upper middle class white women do? What's the point if I can't look down my nose at other people, namely black men? What's the point if I can't say the same thing Jenny Mai says? White meat for the main course, black meat for the side. What's the point if I can't have a white Brad as a husband and be cheating on the white Brad with a black Tyrone? I want to be a white woman too. I want to do the same thing they do. Have your stable or well-off white husband. You work because you want to work. You're lead attorney at your job and you're cheating on your well-to-do white husband with Tyrone out of the file room. Why can't I do that too? White women do it. I want to do it. Right? So until we come to terms with that, everything else is just a bunch of BS. This young lady pretty much showed it. All that we got to extend grace to black women. Dear black men, we got to extend grace to black women while being with the white man, while not extending no grace to black men. Essentially saying black men, there's no tree tall enough to hang you from. And being in a relationship with the white man. This is what black women fought for. This is what it's about. Everything else is BS. Yeah, she did say it on TV. She said it on the reel. Mr. Z has watched that clip multiple times. Yes, she did. And Indigo Flow says, where did Ginny Mai say that comment? Was it on TV? Yes, it was. Yes, she said it. See, when black women, this is the one time black women ain't putting words in her mouth. She did say that, right? And yes, she was talking about relationships and sex and all of that. She wasn't talking about food, right? So yeah, because to be frank, this is not just a black woman thing. This is a women of color thing, and you saw it in the reaction that Dr. Jennifer Lundquist and Dr. Chantel Buggs had with their research on the dating divide. You could see they're like remember these are sociologists, PhDs. You could see the wheels turning in their mind like, oh crap. All feminism did was put white men on an even higher pedestal. Well, damn. All feminism did and capitalism did, and this is Mr. Z is so slipping. I have some stuff I got to deal with, and in real life. But I don't care how, I don't care if it's 3 years from now. I have to sit down with Dr. Green Gorilla on a live stream and go over his coverage of what feminism and capitalism, particularly neoliberal capitalism, has done to the family and what it's done to dating and relationships, because he did a masterful job, and he'd covered this what 6 7 months ago at this point now, right? It was a while ago now, but masterful job. But continuing, you could see what capitalism and feminism has done, right? And then you include social media with that, and you include dating apps, right? Right? And that's what it is. So you're gonna have, and I want y'all to understand, as Mr. Z said, it's not gonna be black men that embarrass and check black women in the worst way. It's gonna be white men. It's not even gonna be white women. White women are gonna do it, but it's gonna be white men, because not all white men are on board and want the easy sex from black women. Don't forget how racist they are. Don't forget how anti-black they are. Especially some of the conservatives with the culture war. They want those points. That's what we saw with the black woman that was railing against white supremacy and had a white man. A bunch of white people in the comments. Just of course, it's always like this, because it's very clear, and it's becoming even clearer to even white folks. Thank you, Nuke. And when they do it, it's going to be ugly, right? And no placeholder says makes sense. White men funded feminism, and there you go. When you move women in to middle management positions, and you essentially take those positions from the men, and anti-blackness is still a thing, and white domination is still a thing, and white patriarchy, even though it's not what it was 50 years ago and 100 years ago, is still in the atmosphere, then what the hell do you think you just did? Especially for upper middle class white men, what you think you just did? You just elevated their stock. Look at Mr. Z sound like a whole eugenicist. And so you hear women of color finding all their little backwards ways and excuses and reasons for essentially putting white men on a higher pedestal than they put him before. And that's okay. Right? So you're gonna have these women say, "Well, we date out too, but it's not the same, and it's not the same when we do it, and we're not doing it because we put white men on a pedestal." Meanwhile, you check their social media, and they're beating up on their respective men, railing against patriarchy while ending up with, well, patriarchs. Well, he provides and he protects. You mean patriarchy, right? Huh? And thank you for the note. Excuse me. Thank you for the super chat. No placeholder. So on that note, as a matter of fact, let's do this. Mr. Z is getting breakfast. Of course he is. Right. So y'all give me 1 second. Let's take this corner real quick. I was gonna end it out, but maybe we got a couple more minutes. Give me 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Better you said Bojangles. I wish better you. Bojangles breakfast is absolute fire. They don't have any by me. We used to, but they don't have any. Not that I know of. I'm gonna look, but I think the last time I checked, it was way far, way far from where I am in South Florida. But yeah, y'all talk amongst yourselves. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. No placeholder says, and I'm back. No placeholder says oatmeal and fruits for breakfast in your 40s. Z, look, I know. Look, yeah, it's about to get real as hell because Mr. Z's schedule is about to change, which means I'm going to be spending bit more time with my lady, and she's going to have way more control over my diet, and it's about to be a thing because she actually eats healthy and she doesn't eat too late. So a woman's touch, right? Wait, that sounds like a woman that cares about you. And one doesn't boil you down to a walking wall and an overglorified guard dog. And doesn't compare you to white men, that part. Right? And that doesn't want you to die so she gets the life insurance money. Right? Yeah. We're going to be loud. But all the rest, who's not going to get property, right? Who's not going to get any type of real life insurance money? As Black millennial women and the oldest of Gen Z age up into their 40s, into their 50s, and their parents are passing, oh man, when that wealth transfer descends from boomers to their millennial and oldest of Gen Z children, oh man. Right? Will they be going after some of you brothers that they think got a couple of dollars also? Of course they will. Of course they will. All you scammers and D-boys, oh, you think you having fun with them now. But white men, white men are going, especially white men with a couple of dollars, are going to be beating Black women and Latina women off with a stick. Right? Dear white men, if you got a thing for the melanin, oh, you are going to have a field day with Black women, Latina women, right? Browner and darker skin East Asian women or Southeast Asian women that don't really got it like that. And even you brothers that who parents left you a couple of things and you were already stable before. Oh, Toya said Rick Ross grunt. Right. First of all, I hate that the other day when we were speaking of move out of Dr. Thunder's way. Um, Look, this thing, this white male worship that feminism and this particular brand of capitalism that we're living under exposed even more. Um, the fact that even your sociologists are like, whoa, alrighty then, right? Look like we got a situation here. Oh, okay, I'm Borging. All right. So I'll cut out. All right. So as I was saying, um, you know, we're gonna see more of this. Even your sociologists are like, okay, this is a situation. This is a situation. This is not good. Right? How did these people not foresee this as a potential conclusion? I don't know. right? Because let's be very clear, women, for the most part, this whole idea of women being the arbiters of morality and justice and kindness, and they have a no. It's the standard line we all know all across, you know, both the black manosphere and other male spaces, which is they wait at the finish line for the winner. They don't care how you got there. You could have blood dripping off of you for everybody you slaughtered all the way to the finish line to get first place. They don't care. Are you in first? Okay, then here's the vagina. And so all that white men have done this wrong and that wrong, yeah, the women hear it, and like a handful of them are like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not turned on. But the rest are like, well, is he winning? Is he going to elevate my stock? All right. We're black. Dear black men, we're black men. Most of us come from the hood still. How many black women do we know that are nurses, that are teachers, that either used to or might still deal with a scammer or a D-boy? Right? How many black women do we know deal with black men that they know are scamming? And I don't just mean that quote illegal scamming. I mean that borderline illegal scamming that's legal, but by the thinnest of margins. Right? What's the guy name from Tulsa Real Estate Fund? That type of scamming where it's legal ish, kind of, by the thinnest of margins. Right? He's barely coloring in the line. Jay Morrison, that's the brother's name, Jay Morrison. And black women will get him with a man like that. I get to be a baller? Oh, well, I'll take it. And that's not really just exclusively a black woman thing. That's a woman thing. Right? So, about to end out. As I said before, this is what it is. The young lady said what she said. Extend grace to black women while I'm with this white dude. While I speak about black men hanging from trees. All right. So there you go. Right. And until the black community comes to terms with the fact that your daughters really, 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 really want to be white women, until you come to terms with that, then everything else y'all are doing is just a waste of time. It's all a waste of time. Until you realize their actual critique of black men is that black men haven't made them white women politically and socially, everything else you do is a waste of time. And I'll end out with this. We have to actually do some real investigation of what white colonialism, white capitalism, white domination, white hegemony, white military might, white economic might, in the image of white patriarchal men, what did it do to the minds of women of color? And in our case, as black men and as a black community, even if y'all don't want to be all together, what did it do to the minds of black women? Are black women really trying to fight white patriarchy, or did we tell ourselves they're trying to fight against white patriarchy? And on that note, everyone, and you can splice that compassionate and callous, right? And on that note, everyone, we'll end out right there. We'll pause right there, right? Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Well, day. Sorry, great rest of y'all day, right? Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. Dr. Thunder streaming in a little bit, and go check out other non-Manosphere content. So I don't sound like this young lady, right? Quote unquote critiquing black men while really what you virtue signaling to your white boyfriend, right? Dear Fab Socialism, another example of quote unquote radical black women with white men that quote unquote critique black men. Keep calling it critiquing black men. Keep calling it critiquing black men for their misogynoir and their colorism and their sexism and their texturism and their featureism. Meanwhile, what it really is virtue signaling to white men. And on that note, Mr. Z, end right there. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Mr. Z out.